Fuel Poverty Action left off, because she was saying how we don't actually need all the power that they say we need. And she was going to give an example of a village in England, Ashton Hayes, where they've draft-proofed their homes, insulated them, cut energy consumption, and reduced their carbon emissions by 40%. That's just one village in England, and they've been consulted by more than 200 towns across the world. We do not need the power they say they need. They say that we have to have Drax and we have to have power stations to keep the lights on. They say that we have to pay companies money for capacity payments just to keep the ability to turn out carbon emissions. They say that we need to have Hinkley and double the price of electricity because we need all this power. And we don't, not only because of the insulation, but because a lot of the power that is used in the world is wasted. And I want to say something, as Duncan said, I want to say something about jobs, because the other reason they say we have to have things like Drax, and things like the open cast coal mines in Wales, and things like the destruction of rainforests, the other reason is because they say we need it because we need the jobs. And I think if you think about it, you'll see that there's something extremely upside down in a situation where you have all this work going on because you need jobs, and the result is that children in Colombia are malnourished. The result is that the whole planet is threatened. The result is that people in England are going cold in their homes because in this rich country they cannot afford to keep the lights on or keep the heat on or avoid the 15,000 deaths that happened last winter because people couldn't afford to heat their homes. There's something upside down here, and I want to suggest that the solution is not jobs which destroy the planet. The solution is not power stations which destroy the planet. When Drax was being built, when it was being planned, people were already campaigning and saying that if they used the money that was going to build Drax, if they invested that money instead in insulation, they could insulate the whole of East Anglia, and we would not need the power that is being produced in that way. And the same thing could happen with an awful lot of other work. If you think about the military, which consumes, the US military consumes more, it produces more carbon emissions than anything else on Earth. If you think about the arms trade, if you think about the trade where we ship apples to New Zealand and ship apples from New Zealand to England, if you think about built-in obsolescence, if you think about all the company directors flying around the world on their jets and the carbon emissions that produces, if you think about the work that goes into keeping people poor and policing us, all the jobs that are actually guarding us to protect property, if you think about what's happening to building homes that are not occupied but are used as investment, if you think about even 1/10 of the work that is done in the world that actually produces no human good, no food, no shelter, no clothing, no warmth, but only produces profit, you know that a lot of us are just jumping up and down and wasting our lives just to make profit for people, and the carbon emissions from that are enormous, and that is not a sustainable way to go. Asking for full employment in that situation does not make sense. We could do without most of the work that's going on in the world. We were told a generation ago that technology made it redundant, that we were going to have 3-hour days, for Christ's sake, that we were going to have leisure, that we were going to be able to spend time with our families, that we were going to have time to be creative. We were promised that, and instead here we are slaving away for what? For destruction. Only destruction. That is what Drax does. That is what the mining in Colombia does. And of course, people who are on the spot need money. We need an income everywhere. The people in Wales, when we went with Reclaim the Power and occupied an open cast coal mine in Wales, the people in that community were saying, yes, we're concerned about jobs, but in fact this mine is keeping jobs, clean jobs, away from our area. And moreover, what about money for the work that we're doing cleaning up the mess that the coal miners created? Why not pay for the work of restitution? Why not pay for the work that we do caring for each other in our own homes, caring for children, caring for older people, caring for people who've been made ill by this disastrous environment? Why not pay for that instead of creating work that only leads to profit? Now, the sister over there was asking this question just earlier, saying, okay, but there seems to be a contradiction. There seems to be a contradiction between the people who need the jobs and the people who want to save the environment. There's no contradiction. The elephant in the room is these people who are creating work that only wreaks destruction and profits for themselves and nothing for the rest of us. And that's what we have to deal with. It's a big thing to deal with, but there's no other way, because sustaining this monster is, everybody knows, is only going to destroy us all.